Obviously, I want to start off and ask about the crime fighting that went on this weekend that everybody was reporting on. What exactly happened?
Man, I left the restaurant and I went to get a cab. And I realized the less money that I had, I gave as an extra tip to the guy that I just to the waiter at the restaurant. So I next to the restaurant there was an ATM machine. As I went there was two guys arguing at the ATM, And when I saw them arguing, I say, oh, forget it. I'm gonna walk. Like I saw them arguing right next to the ATM. Say, let me leave. And then I start walking. I was around, I think, 17th Street, and I had to walk until 29. That's where my car was. As I'm walking, as I cross the street, two guys that were there near the two guys fighting, another two guys that were over the corner near the ATM, they start following me, you know? Okay, so basically, like I start walking, as I keep walking, they keep following me, and I start thinking that was strange, like the streets are desert, there's nobody gonna. Initially, I thought that they were afraid to walk by themselves, you know.
Yeah.
And then I kept walking, and I pretend to stop to take a picture of. There were some projects that I was passing by, and when I stopped to do that, I realized that they pretend that they were looking at the windows of a store, that was actually closed. And I thought that was strange. That's when I stopped reading, making like I said, man, those two guys are following me, and I think they're gonna rob me. And I kept walking, and as we get to a really, really empty place, they got closer to me. They got in the same block, like half a block of distance only, and then they start asking for a smoke. And then let me have a smoke. You have a smoke? And I completely ignored, kept walking. They said, my man, let me have a cigarette. Let me have a cigarette. They keep screaming. I turn around and say, my man, I don't smoke. I don't have a cigarette. As they began talking, they accelerate their pace and they start getting closer to me. And honestly, initially, I thought right away, I said, because they follow me for almost 10 blocks, you know. They would have approached me a long time ago because the streets were desert, there was nobody there. And they came at me right away, like, my man, let me have a smoke. Then I didn't answer, I keep looking, they get very close to me and they go, let me have a smoke, let me have a cigarette. And when the guy was able to reach me, he came very aggressively and he grabbed me in the elbow, on my left elbow. I carry my wallet on my right pocket. And he grabbed me on the left elbow and he reached with his other hand, with his left hand inside my pocket, my front pocket. And as he's doing that, I'm smiling and laughing and going, man, I told you I don't have a cigarette. And as the other one approached me, the only thing that I was waiting was to see if they were carrying weapons, like a knife or some. A lot of people in New York carry like pocket knives. Those that have the clip that you can see on the pants. So I'm looking and I see no signs of weapons with them. Then the second guy gets very close and he goes to do the same, to grab me on my right arm and reach in my pocket. As I realize that they don't have a weapon or a knife or nothing, and he's coming, the second guy is coming to reach on the other pocket where my wallet was, I hit the first guy who was the leader. That's what he looks like. He was the one talking, doing the whole you're creating the whole problem. I hit him with a left hook and a straight right hand. He went flat down. He fell. When I did this, I tried to grab the second one, but even though I touched on him, like I touched my fingers, almost grabbing, he was able to run away. I run half a block after him, but he took off. Then I pull off my phone and I scream, hey, I'm calling 911 with the phone in my hand. But I actually didn't call 911. I went and I popped the camera up, and that's the picture that is out there. As I'm getting close to him, he got on his floor, and he's starting to get up with nose bleeding. As I'm coming from behind, I took the picture, and then I put a video on him. I put a little video on him, I roughed him up, and I remember like he goes, oh man, all that I want is a cigarette. I think, bullshit, man. You want an old lady walking on the streets, you want like someone that couldn't defend themselves, that's what you want. So he could rob them. And then I beat him up a little, and then I told him to take off. I said, I don't want to see you ever on this block, I don't want to see you around here. I live here, even though I don't. I told him that. And I'm gonna get your neck. I'm gonna get your partner. I have a chance. I'm gonna get your partner. So then I took off to get my car. My car was like 2 blocks down. So he was sitting there on his butt when I left, and I told him to go in the other direction. So I went all the way there, got my car, and they never saw me getting my car or nothing like that. So then when I left the parking lot, I went around the block like so they wouldn't recognize me, and then I came back again so I could see where this guy that I was able to get him was going, because for sure those guys normally when they work in pairs, they always they have an agreement. If something happens, one runs on each direction, so this way they always prevent one from being arrested, and they meet in a certain spot after. So I knew he was gonna go to meet the other one. So I kept an eye on this one, and I saw him walking towards 11th Avenue, towards the west side in the island. So I went around, and I all the way to West Side Highway. Then I came back, like driving around and taking a look. That's when I saw the guy on the corner looking for the avenue and the street, like keeping an eye on what was going on, but actually looking for his friend. He was there waiting for his friend. I don't know if it was 10th Avenue, 11th Avenue. I gotta go there and check it out. But I parked the car, I hit the car, and then I came very, very close to the wall, walking in a fast pace in the way that he couldn't see me. And I as I was getting close to him, he probably saw his friend that was coming on the same street, and he walked forward a little bit. When he did that, he couldn't see me anymore, so I took off running. When I did the turn, he was standing right there, with his back towards me. I jumped right on his back and choked him out. And then I gave him what we call in Brazil the raccoon, the guaxinim. I choked him out, and I hit him on both eyes. Like I hit him a couple of times on both eyes to make sure that he had 2 shiners the next day. Because a lot of times you choke someone out, it doesn't hurt, and they don't learn the lesson.
Yeah.
And as I choked him out, and I did the raccoon, and he woke up, I was grabbing him again, and I was whispering in his ear. This is what death feels like. You're gonna feel exactly what dying feels like. I'm right on his ear. And I'm talking, and I squeeze and choke him out again. I choke him out like 3 times in a way to scare him. And I say, you guys have been doing this around here for a long time. If I see you guys around here, I'm gonna be in trouble. And then the last time I choked him, I left him there and I took off. I took off to my car. And as I'm going, I saw him waking up, all busy looking around. I jumped in my car, pooped, and took off. Went home. So that's what it was. It wasn't not even that big of a deal, because people made a big of a deal because I tweeted at the same time. Because when I was in the car, I was looking for him. I was tweeting, and then I realized that he was there. It was an interesting. It was, I think, the first time that there's a live tweet about some nice action happened. I ended up finding out, they tried to assault and rob Hollis. Hollis is the kind of family that is 6'4", 250 pounds. So they tried to rob him and assault him on the same spot, but it was a larger group. It was like 8 people. And then the same happened with Danielle Gracie's wife, on the same spot. It's like, and it's funny because they never told me. So I only heard about that after the fact, after they read on tweet and they called me to let me know. So I think this is how they normally rob people in New York. They push you against the wall and they search your pocket. But this time the guys they weren't lucky. Had a bad day at work.
The first thing that comes to my mind is these are the stupidest people on the face of the planet because they picked the Gracie family to try to rob.
3 times. They don't even believe. They're pushing their luck. Now I'm going to start looking for them. When I pass by there, I'll start looking for them. And maybe one day we'll set up a militia to go there to put a video on every single one, because this day of audience, there was 8. There was like 8 guys. So it's crazy. And this is the kind of crime that happens. It's a good thing because they don't want to be caught. And the funny thing, they always ask for a smoke or for $1. So this way, they pretend they're not robbing you. But this guy in particular, he grabbed me on my helmet and he reached deep in, like he had his whole hand inside my pocket, like trying to grab whatever I had in there. But it's not in the pocket that I carry the phone. The phone was on my back pocket. other one came on the side. It was a very funny day. I liked it. I have to be honest. Um, because what I saw on them was the fact that they do this to a lot of people. Like the approach that they had on me showed that they knew what they were doing and how, like for sure, like the confidence they had. They did this to many weak people, and it ended up being like a case that you just lose the wallet, lose your phone, lose whatever you carry, and normally not even complaining, they never hear about it. So the good thing was to call the attention for something that's probably been happening in New York for a while in certain areas, So, and I had a chance to tweet